So, it's the big day at Ching Academy, the Profession Awakening ceremony. Everyone's hyped, right? Future heroes, magicians, dragon tamers, and then there's Yechuan. The light flashes, the system chimes, and boom! Divine tier life profession, pig butcher. Yeah, the entire academy lost it. They thought the system was trolling him. But here's where it gets wild. His stats? Insane. His skills? All buffed against pigs. And the funniest part? To Yechuan, everyone looks like a pig. Turns out, he's got this weird condition, a messed up spine pressing on his brain, and now he literally sees the world as one giant pig farm. People mocked him, called him useless. But the moment someone tried to test him, one glare from Yechuan and even the academy's top student froze, like a roast on display. Every pig he slaughters, more power, more strength, more chaos. The world laughs at him, but Yechuan just grins, because in his eyes, they're all pigs. And I know for a fact, he's gonna farm the shit out of them. Anyway, the sauce of the manhwa is the pig-slaughtering blade that pierces all realms. Comment oink oink if you want part 2. Enjoy. This epic manhwa starts with the hospital, in the psychiatry department. The doctor assessed a patient who saw every living being looked like a pig. The man nodded his head. She thought he was kidding. She stuck her tongue out and asked if he saw her as a pig too. It was like she was teasing and seducing the young boy. But our not-simp MC replied yes. The man looked unwell, especially with his eyes having small pupils. He saw the doctor as a pig with eyeglasses and wearing a lab coat. The doctor expressed that it was the first time she heard something like that. At the same time, she finds him handsome. She unbuttoned her shirt and approached him. She wanted to check if his manhood was still functioning properly. She asked what he's seeing right now. Deep inside her, she refused to be seen as a pig. But when she revealed her chest to him, he only saw 2 pigs. She was surprised, and that confirmed that he really was a psychopath. She then informed him that his spine has a serious issue. She informed him that there was a part where it was severely deformed, even a bit twisted, and it pressed on his optic nerves. After knowing the cause, just ignore them. But deep inside, Chuan was creeped out. Later on, everyone was instructed to line up according to their student number because the awakening ceremony was about to begin. It was the time to show the results of everything they had learned at school. Their awakening would be based on their strength, agility, and spirit. The higher their stats, the greater the chance of awakening a high-tier class. Everyone was told to focus all their strength during the awakening. The class they will awaken would affect their entire life. If someone awakens as a high-tier combat class, it's basically defying fate, causing them to earn the admiration of all, and it would bring endless glory to Ching Academy. They had begun. Students would one by one place a hand on the stone platform. The first student did it. Then it showed that he would be a life class, an immediate fitter. He was terrified of that result. The next student was classified as Life Class Advanced Mason. The one after him was a Life Class Low-Tier Engineer. The succeeding student became more nervous. His hand trembled as he approached the stone. The stone emits a golden light and revealed that he's a combat class, Rare Tier Shadowblade Master. Everyone was surprised since it was a rare tier. The principal asked his name. He was Liu Jinglong. This fucker's expression suddenly became smug now. The principal told him to rest for the time being, and later he would visit his home to discuss his future career plans. Jinglong thanked him and left. The students were so impressed with him. Chuan was next. Ling Xuan cheered for him. The principal knew that he's somewhat strange, but he also had unusually high stats. Most people have a total of around 3, but he had 10, 3 times the average. He assumed that something incredible would happen. When Chuan placed his hand on the stone, it glowed brightly in purple and emitted a powerful energy around him. The principal couldn't believe it. Then it revealed that he was God tier. Chuan was shocked. They still couldn't read the whole revelation because of the strong wind. They all thought it was a divine talent. When the wind had settled, the principal was mortified that it was life class, God tier pig butcher. The students started laughing at him. They couldn't even believe that such a dumb class exists. The principal, Zhao Mingping, felt humiliated. After being in the position for so long, he finally saw a God-tier class, but the most useless one, a pig butcher. He wished it could have been just a blacksmith, a physician, or alchemist. Either of those would have brought him glory already. He realized that the greater the hope, the greater the disappointment. He thought that the kid would blow them away, but turns out he was a big failure. The principal could only sigh. He has no words for him. Suddenly, something caught Chuan's attention. A system came out. It showed his stats. He's a Tier 1 apprentice with 5 strength, 3 agility, 2 spirit. His talents were Nemesis of the Pig Clan, Blade of Gods, and his class skill was Blood Shadow Butcher level 1. The Nemesis of the Pig Clan deals 50% extra damage to pigs. Each pig killed increases this talent's bonus by 1%. Damage taken from pigs was halved. The Blade of Gods makes his weapon of choice his pig-killing blade. Each pig slain with it grants 0.1 free attribute points. The Blood Shadow Butcher makes the pig butcher release their killing intent, forcing pigs into a 1-second fear state. He carefully read through it. The skills caught his attention. It made him conclude that being crazy has perks. Because in his eyes, the world was full of pigs. Chuan got down from the stage. Everyone was making fun of him. One of them commented that the Qingcheng Academy only has one true dragon, and that was Jinglong. Ling Xuan approached him to comfort him. She patted his head while telling him that his skill was like inheriting his father's legacy. The guys who saw that died from envy. She assured him that his father and her father would be happy for him. They had been neighbors since they were little. Both their parents are from the life class, and they always tried to pair them. The principal called Ling Xuan. Before she comes up to the stone, she wonders if she'll inherit her mom's tailor profession or her dad's brewer profession. She promised him that no matter what class she awakens, she'll always stay by his side. He was left dumbfounded. She placed her hand on the stone. Instantly, it emitted a strong gust of wind. She was horrified at what she saw, while the principal was shocked to see the legendary profession. She was a combat class, legendary Snow Soul Sword Immortal. The principal couldn't believe she awakened a legendary class combat, especially when both of her parents were life class. He concludes that it was a mutation. This girl now exudes a great aura around her body. The principal then assured her that whatever she needs in the future would be provided by the Qingcheng Academy. She thanked him for that. The students started gossiping about how her friend was a pig butcher, and now she's a legendary combat class. They wondered if she would still cling to Chuan. They expected him to get left behind or have the awareness to stay away from Ling Xuan. Chuan congratulated her, but then she called his name coldly. Then she looked down at him while admitting that they had some misunderstandings before. But she assumed that it should be cleared up by then, especially now that they weren't from the same world anymore. He was left speechless. Jinglong and his friend kept smirking. Chuan simply replied, "Okay," like it didn't bother him. Then she told him that he doesn't have to act strong. She added that he's just a pig butcher, so he'll never accomplish anything great, so he doesn't have to blame her. She hoped that he wouldn't bother her again. He replied that if there's nothing else, he'll be going. He left feeling relieved that he had gotten rid of that pig head. Jinglong asked Ling Xuan if she wanted him to teach him a lesson and show him his place. They both had this evil look on their faces. Jinglong called the pig butcher. He was surprised that Chuan just ignored him, so he furiously grabbed his arm. Chuan glared at him and asked what he wanted. Jinglong was intimidated, that it made him stagger backwards. He couldn't understand what happened. The look in Chuan's eyes made him feel like he was a pig tied up on the chopping block about to be slaughtered. Everyone laughed at him, while his friend approached him and asked what was wrong. Jinglong became angrier. He attacked him for glaring at him. Chuan countered his attack, and their fist met at the center. Then it left Jinglong with excruciating pain. He cradled his broken fist. Everyone was surprised and confused about what just happened. Jinglong couldn't believe that a pig butcher would do that. Chuan argues that it's natural for a pig butcher to have a strong grip strength. They couldn't believe what happened at Jinglong's hand. Jinglong screamed that he'll kill him. He materialized a sword. Now that Jinglong was serious, that brat was as good as dead. They expected Chuan to suffer greatly since he picked a fight with a combat class. Jinglong threatened Chuan that his long blade could slice through steel pipes like nothing. He planned to cripple him right there and then, but his sword froze. His whole body wouldn't move. He asked Ling Xuan why she helped him. She warned him to stop it. She didn't want them to fight just because of her. Then she emphasized to Chuan how they're no longer from the same world. She told him that it would be the last time that she'd help him, so he could think of it as saying goodbye to the past. Then she ordered him to leave. She meant for him to leave Qingcheng because if Jinglong sought revenge, the dog trembled and its mouth frothed while the woman cried out of worry. The system window appeared. It notified him of a level increase by 0.1% from the slaughtered one small pig. The nemesis of the pig clan bonus damage also increased by 1%. Just as he thought, it worked. The woman attacked him for bullying her and her son. She was determined to fight him to death. He told the woman he's mentally ill. He showed him the papers, and it made the woman stop. He told her that if there's nothing else, he'll be going. The woman realized that since he's a psycho, aside from killing her dog, he would have killed her too, and her death would have been in vain. She acted nicely instead and told him to take care of his health. At Ye Chuan's home, his parents received the news that he had awakened as a pig butcher. He confirmed that. They told him that there's nothing wrong with being a simple, honest pig butcher, that it was way better than all that fighting and killing. They were in bed too when a shadowy figure appeared on their window. Chuan's father informed this figure that his son was just a plain pig butcher, so they should stop disturbing their lives. The shadow figure replied that no one would have expected that the son of Ghost Cry would turn out to be a pig butcher. It questioned Ye Yuan if the kid was really his biological son. It made him open his eyes. He held back his anger. He warned the shadow figure to stop coming there or else he won't be polite next time. The shadow figure told him not to be so angry, and if his son was just really a pig butcher, then the organization won't bother him anymore. Then the shadow figure vanished. The next day at the slaughterhouse, Qi Yuan came with his son. He told him that a good pig butcher starts with a good knife. He let his son choose a knife that feels best in his hands. Chuan inspected the knife and chose one that felt right. It registered on the system that he chose a pig-killing knife. With that, the blade of the gods had been activated. Each pig killed with the blade will grant 0.1 free attribute points. Then, Qi Yuan told him that the first step as a pig butcher was to learn how to use his knife. There was a hanging pig in front of them that squealed loudly. Qi Yuan told Chuan to aim for the weak spot and kill it with one hit. He urged him to give it a try. Chuan slashed the pig. The pig's eyes rolled. Then the system notified him that he killed one normal flying pig with a butcher knife. He received 1% Pig Slayer extra damage and 1% free attribute points. Qi Yuan praised him. But he also noticed that his aim wasn't quite good enough for a one-hit kill. He needed to aim for the main artery in the neck. Chuan replied, "Okay." Qi Yuan thinks that butchering pigs was boring for his age, so he had to emphasize the importance of it, because it was their livelihood. Chuan asked if he could kill all the pigs in the pen. It made Qi Yuan laugh. He was pleased with his boy's enthusiasm. He responded with the same eagerness by offering the pigs over at Uncle Li and Uncle Chen. Chuan hit a pig, and the system notified him of level increase to rank 2. He continued to hit them until he reached rank 3 quickly. He butchered another one which increased his level to rank 4. When he was done, he killed a total of 49 normal pigs. The Pig Slayer extra damage increased by 100%. All 3 stats increased from 10 to 15. By then, he reached rank 5 apprentice. A butcher approached Qi Yuan to ask if that was his son. He saw that the kid had gotten addicted to the job because he just finished a whole week's worth of work. Qi Yuan let out a small laugh. He wasn't surprised since his son was a god-tier butcher. Meanwhile, Chuan was thinking of how he had gotten the hand of the butcher knife already. It led him to think that it was time to leave the slaughterhouse and see the outside world. So the next day, he packed his bag. In their world, the myriad races of the heavens stand tall and demons run rampant. And saw a woman tied up with a pacifier on her mouth. The baby goblins want to get milk from her. She was trembling and crying as she hoped for the man to save her. She watched him. Chuan raised his knife. In her head, she begged him not to kill her. She braced herself for the attack, but instead, he targeted the baby goblins. The rope was cut off too, and it surprised her. Chuan crouched down and told her to stop screaming because the goblins were already dead. She glanced at them. Then she hugged him and thanked him for saving her. She almost got ruined by those goblins. He clarified that he didn't come there to save her. She saw the corpses and asked them if he killed all of those. Then she inquired if he was a combat class. Lastly, she asked what his name was. He told her his name. Then instructed her that when she exited the cave, she should head left and she'll reach the city. The forest became dark. She stopped walking and hid behind a tree. She was surprised when he suddenly approached her and asked why she's following him. It led him to think that she was a spy sent by the goblins. She screamed loudly. Then she clarified that she just didn't want to go back alone. He asked what her name was and why she was there. She replied that her name was Siananan. Then she explained that in a few days, it would be her mother's birthday. She originally wanted to find a blood moon flower as a gift for her, but she didn't expect to be caught by goblins. She offered him a deal. If he helps her find the blood moon flower, she'll help him find Ching Cheng's best blacksmith to make him a new blade. He inquired if she knew how much it would cost. Her silence told him that she doesn't, so she ordered her to just go back. He threatened to cut her if she kept following him. She felt bad that, even with her beauty, the guy treated him coldly. It made her think that he was mentally ill. She asked him if she knew who she was. She revealed that her father was Xiabeha. He recognized that name. He's one of Ching Cheng's 4 top aristocratic powers, and he was a 9th-rank master-class transferee. He was one step away from being a grandmaster. It made him interested. If that was true, with her father's wealth, having him forge 10 top-tier pig butcher blades wouldn't be a problem. She showed him the Ji clan's protective token. It was a defensive measure that her father gave her. Even climbing a pond realm transferee couldn't hurt her in the slightest, but those goblins were so cunning that she got caught by their surprise and got captured. The goblins couldn't get close to her, so they locked her up instead. Chuan inspected the item carefully and confirmed that it truly was a Jia clan product. He was so close that it made her blush. Our boy believed her and told the lady that he'll help her find the blood moon flower as long as she helps him get a top-tier butchering knife. They shook hands to close the deal. Then she brought out a map that she bought. It marked the location of the blood moon flower. But wherever there's a blood moon flower, there's a blood python, so it's extremely dangerous. According to the Wilderness Survival Guide, the blood moon python has power comparable to a 9th-rank apprentice. She was unsure if he could handle that, but it made him excited, since he hadn't seen a python before. Meanwhile, she doubted if the guy was listening well to her, but she didn't question his strength, since he single-handedly wiped out an entire goblin tribe. She assumed that he's a god-tier combat class. He told her to lead the way. She feels that he's reliable and unreliable at the same time. Regardless, she went with him. They hid behind the bushes when they saw a silver-horned rhino. She told him not to provoke it. Once it gets enraged, its strength can rival an 8th-rank apprentice. She planned to quietly go around it, but to her surprise, he stood up and gripped his knife. She asked what he was doing. He responded that if it dared to eat grass, it would dare to eat people tomorrow, so they couldn't let it live. His reason didn't make any sense. He charges at it. Before the rhino could even move, he had already slashed it. Then it fell. Nanan was dumbfounded. She couldn't believe that he killed it with one strike. The system notified that he had been promoted to 7th-rank apprentice. He defeated the silver-horned pig, and the nemesis of the pig clan extra damage increased by 122%. He checked his knife and got worried that it wouldn't hold out much longer. Nanan asked him what his class was. He revealed that he was a life-class butcher. She finds it hard to believe since there's no way a life profession could kill a silver-horned rhino in a single strike. He took the horn because it was a valuable material. He suggested that the rhino must have been old, so it died quickly. She could sense that he wasn't lying. She checked, and they're almost at their destination. They went deeper in the forest. Meanwhile, the principal and some other students like Ling Zhuan, Jianlong, and the others also entered the forest. They held a field training, and everyone performed well. He was expecting that from the students he handpicked. Then he noticed something was moving. He told them to come out. It was Chuan and Nanan. Chuan wondered why they're there. Zhanglong asked him how he got there. He replied that he was just passing by. That irked Zhanglong. A woman with them doesn't seem to believe him. She suggested that he couldn't get over Ling Xuan, that's why he tagged along like glue. That made his eyes widened. This pig-faced bitch was displeased. She told him that she made herself clear last time, that they're from different worlds, so he should just stop clinging on to her, while Zhanglong was pleased that he appeared before him again. He took out his weapon. It glowed differently, which made his friend think that it was a yellow-grade low-tier spirit weapon. It was considered as a true spirit weapon. Principal Mingping couldn't believe that in just a few short days, Jinglong already became a 4th-rank apprentice, and he's refined a yellow-grade low-tier spirit weapon. It confirmed that he didn't misjudge him because he truly was a genius. With his current strength, he could even fight evenly against a 6th-rank apprentice. Ling Xuan told Chuan that she won't help him again. Nanan whispered at him to ask if he had any grudges against those people. He asked her how much was a yellow-grade low-tier spirit weapon. She replied that it would probably be a few 100,000. Since he looked unbothered, she asked if he truly understood the situation he's in. Jianglong was annoyed that Chuan stole the spotlight last time, so this time, he wanted it back. He attacked him, to let Ling Xuan see him. Chuan blocked the sword using his knife. Everyone was surprised. Jianlong gave his whole strength for Ling Xuan to see. He broke the knife in half. He finished his stance with a smile. He couldn't take that a damned pig butcher acted so cocky, so he'll make sure he couldn't even kill pigs anymore. A normal blade was as fragile as paper before a spirit weapon. He couldn't understand why Chuan still provoked him. Chuan simply told him that he doesn't even need a blade to deal with him. It made Jianglong even more furious to the point that his veins bulged out. He replied that he shouldn't blame him for being ruthless. Because he's the one courting death, he attacked him with his sword. Chuan prepared his fist and punched him in the gut before he could hit him, and that sent him flying. Everyone didn't expect that. Jianglong's friend asked if he's okay. He screamed in pain. Eventually, he was able to mutter that he's fine, but deep inside, he knew he's about to faint. Principal Mingping called Chuan to confirm if he had already reached 7th-rank apprentice. Our MC then picked up Jianglong's sword. He thinks it looks good. Jianglong's friend couldn't believe he reached 7th rank when Ling Xuan was only at 6th rank. Principal Mingping believed that it was possible. Although the realm divisions were the same for life and combat class, their methods of leveling up were completely different. Combat class had to train hard, fight, get injured, and master battle techniques in the early stages, so their growth was a bit slower at first. But once they had a breakthrough, their growth rate would get faster. On the other hand, life class had it much easier. For example, alchemists and blacksmiths don't need to fight. They just have to pour all their energy into their craft. For instance, Yuan. As a pig butcher, he just needs to kill pigs over and over every day to raise his realm in the early stages. Ling Xuan concluded that he's basically relying on stats his high realm gave him. She thought it was unfair to combat class. Principal Mingping explained that every time Chuan advances a realm, the number of pigs he has to kill doubles. By the time he reaches the Ascension realm, the number of pigs required to advance again will be astronomical. However, once combat professions master fighting techniques early on, they'll advance faster and faster later. Jinglong's friend summarized it as Chuan relies on his higher realm to beat Jinglong. But in a few years, he'll be getting stomped by combat class. The principal confirmed that. Chuan remembered something, so he told them that if there's nothing else, he'll be heading out. Ling Xuan asked him why he went through such lengths. She assumed that he desperately killed pigs to level up and show off to her. Again, she told him that they're in different worlds now, especially that she had been guaranteed a spot at Skydome Academy. At this point, Chuan looked like he's uninterested in what she's saying, but unlike him, Nanan could no longer watch them. She asked if they would ever stop. Then she clarified that Chuan was helping her look for the blood moon flower, and running into them was just bad luck. So she asked them what nonsense they were making up in their heads. The woman with Ling Xuan couldn't believe that someone actually treasures what she had dumped already. Jinglong's friend added that Chuan had no other skills but to pick up women. He assumed Chuan found a new one so quickly. He added that a bitch and dog match perfectly. Unexpectedly, they all receive a slap on the face from Nanan. Principal Mingping couldn't believe he got involved too. Chuan looked at Nanan with an expression that portrays unbelievable, while Ling Xuan got angry that she dared to hit her. She took out her weapon and approached her. She showed her protective charm and dared them to touch her. Principal Mingpin recognized it, so he stopped Ling Xuan. He now understood why the girl was familiar. She was the young lady of the Xia family. He tried to get on her good side and asked what she's doing there. She replied that it was none of his business. Then she pointed out how rude his students were. He assured her that he would discipline them properly when they get back. But she insists on making Ling Xuan apologize to Chuan. Ling Xuan wondered why Xiao Beihai's daughter was with Chuan. Principal Mingpin urged her to apologize. She apologized insincerely. In her head, she wanted to take revenge against them. Chuan told Nanan that they should leave, but Jianglong yelled at him to give back his sword. Chuan told him to take it from him if he had the guts, while Nanan stuck her tongue out to him. It made him so angry. A few moments later, Chuan and Nanan arrived at the area where the trees were dried out. She took out her map and confirmed that they were in the right place. The system notified Chuan that the exclusive pig butchering knife had been selected, so the god-slaying edge had taken effect. Every pig he kills with the knife grants him 0.2 free attribute points. He saw that the attribute points which confirms that choosing a good knife really make a difference. Then he saw Nanan take out 2 balls from her chest. He asked if she had a treasure chest in there. Also, he was curious about the item. It made her blush. Then she explained that the item was called Thunderfire Pearl. If an Ascension Realm expert was caught off guard, a blast from that would be enough to heavily injure them. When the Blood Moon Python arrives, it would be their lifeline. He finds her unbelievable. He decided to go and take a look first. He crossed the cliff easily. Nanan was on the other side, but she already saw the flower, and it wasn't just an ordinary one. It was a blood crystal twin flower. She was happy that they got so lucky. But that immediately turned to fear when she saw the Blood Moon Python behind Chuan. Chuan eventually noticed something. To him, the python had a pig face. He was calm, and he simply asked why it was staring. He even joked that he must not have seen someone pick a flower before. The python was confused with his behavior at first, and he took that chance to dash away. Chuan yelled at Nanan to move and not just stand there. That brought her back to senses. She raised her arms and throws the beads while Chuan jumps across. It hit the python. She asked Chuan if he's all right. Chuan didn't expect for the beads to have such destructive power. It tried to reach them, but it couldn't and fell on the cliff instead. After that, Chuan gave her the blood crystal twin flower. She was happy to have received it that she even blushed. Chuan got curious about what it was used for. She explained that it was a mutated form of the blood moon flower. Ordinary blood moon flowers can slow aging, but the blood crystal twin flower can grant eternal youth. There's no woman in the world who wouldn't wish for timeless beauty. Her dad only gave her 1 pair. The python targeted Chuan. He used a blood shadow butcher. The snake saw itself being butchered by him. When it froze, Chuan took the chance to cross the cliff. He asked Nanan why she's just standing there. She replied that she'd waited for him since, after all, he risked his life to pick the other blood crystal flower for her. Chuan clarified that it was for his mom. Her reaction was mixed with surprise, disappointment, and annoyance. The python eventually moved. It opened its mouth really wide. Nanan yelled that they're doomed, while Chuan felt that it was a hassle bringing her. So she threw her far from the python, and he was the only one eaten by it. Nanan saw it and called out to him. The python targeted her. She yelled so loud at him to come out at once, but the python attempted to eat her. That's when Yuan cut through its belly from the inside. The python was in excruciating pain while he cut it in half. Eventually, the python fell. Chuan came out of its body and asked why she's calling him. She ran up to him and hugged him, feeling relieved that he's safe. She didn't want anyone dying because of her. But the stench made her step away from him. It made her comment that he was really close on becoming a python's dung. Then the system screen appeared in front of him to notify him of level increase by 80% and level up to 8 rank blade. The middle-aged man surely didn't expect that he wouldn't want any treasures, but instead a pig slaughtering blade. He thought that the brat was crazy. Nanan explained that Chuan wanted Ching Cheng's best blacksmith to craft him a spirit weapon because it was what she promised him. He understood and assured her that he will handle it while she goes home first, because her father was already worried sick. She said goodbye to Chuan and promised to find him again. When she left, the middle-aged man warned Chuan not to have any indecent thoughts towards the young lady, otherwise it would end bad for everyone. But to Chuan's eyes, the young lady was just another pighead. He promised not to get tangled with their young lady, as he only wanted a top-tier spirit weapon. Ching Cheng's greatest blacksmith, Master Ti Xin, has a close relationship with the Xia clan. The middle-aged man planned to inform him when he returned, so Chuan could go meet him the next day. Meanwhile, in the forest, someone approached the corpse of the python. This humanoid snake monster saw that someone killed her beast and stole the flower. She vowed the woman praised him for having good eyes. It was a golden-scaled soft armor made from the scales of a fireclaw serpent. Not only was its defense incredible, it was also extremely resistant to heat and cold. Unfortunately, it cost 150,000 coins. He was shocked with the price. It meant his dad would need to slaughter 1,500 pigs non-stop to earn that much. Chuan suggested trading the spirit sword instead. The woman was surprised to see a yellow-grade low-tier spirit weapon. She immediately agreed to it and instantly put the armor on his body. She even gave a lip service that the armor was practically custom-made for him. She saw how this brat had so many treasures and assumed that he's a high-level combat class. She wanted to seduce him, so she won't have to worry for the rest of her life. She explained that usually there's an exchange fee of 10,000, but since he's handsome, she would waive it for him. She clung to him as she asked what his profession was. But of course, this seduction tactic would never work as she looked like a pig. Are not simp, she was curious how he got it. Then her expression turned to anger, as she asked if he stole it. He explained that he went outside the city and he happened to see snakes fighting when he found the flower on the ground and picked it up. Her expression softened, but still, she warned him that it was dangerous going outside the city, especially when they're just pig butchers. She forbids him to go outside again, while his father was truly proud of him. Suddenly, someone screamed for Qiyuan. He checked outside to see who it was. It was Jinglong's father. He was furious that Chuan stole his son's blade. Qiyuan told him he was mistaken. Liu Xing was his childhood playmate. Now, he's a 6th-rank climbing Pond Realm transferee, a rising name in town. Because of their status gap, they lost touch when they grew up. He tried to explain that his son was a pig butcher, so there's no way he could steal Jinglong's spirit weapon. When Jinglong saw Chuan, he told his dad. Xing blamed Qiyuan for raising his child poorly. He already confirmed with the principal before coming. He dared him to ask his son if it was true. Qingyuan asked Chuan what was going on. Chuan explained that Jinglong tried to kill him, so he took his blade. And to him, he already let him off easily. Jinglong argued that he only wanted to spar. Xing told Chuan that if he hands over the blade, he won't pursue the matter further for his father's sake. Chuan replied that he already sold it. It made Xing furious. Xing demanded 1 million as compensation. Qiyuan expressed that it was too much for a yellow-grade low-tier spirit weapon because the market price of that was 200,000. Xing left no room for negotiations. Chuan got pissed with his attitude, but his father stopped him. Qiyuan agreed to pay him, but since it was not a small amount, they needed time to gather some money. Xing told his old friend that since he can't discipline his son, he'd teach him a good lesson for him instead. Then, he gave them half a month to gather the money. If they couldn't do it, they were warned to experience his wrath. Jinglong motions at Chuan to tell him he's dead. Chuan's mother asked what they should do. She told her husband to go and beg him properly, especially that he was childhood friends with him. He planned to bring pork to Xing and apologize. Chuan told his dad that he'll handle it. Qingyuan assured him that he'll handle it and that he doesn't blame him because it wasn't his fault to begin with. He wished for his son to rely on them when he faced difficulties. Chuan was thinking how he must get a spirit weapon soon and raise his strength to climb the Pond Realm, then he could face Xing. His mother asked if he's hiding something from them. The flower was so valuable, so there's no way a pig butcher could get it. Since it came to that point, Chuan knew he couldn't hide from them forever. He admitted to his parents that he's not normal. His mother immediately assumed that he's gay. That made him pout. She assured him that they're open-minded and would support his happiness, as long as he stays away from his dad. That left the men with a puzzled look. He replied that he doesn't like women or men, but what he actually wanted to say was that he had a mental condition where he sees all living creatures as pigs. His parents glanced at each other. Then his father had a eureka moment. His son was a pig butcher and had a mental condition where he saw all creatures as pigs, which meant that he can treat every creature as a pig and kill it. Chuan replied yes. His mother realized that he'd be counted as a combat class. Qingyuan agreed. He called him to come with him so he could teach him some real skills. While they're ascending a long staircase, Qingyuan revealed to Chuan that he had created a pig-killing blade technique of his own from his years of experience. He decided to pass it to him so that if someone ever wants to take his life again, he would have a way to defend himself. Chuan had already caused him trouble and put their family in $1 million debt, so he doesn't understand why he's still teaching him. He replied that even if 1,000,000 was a lot, it's nowhere near as important as his son's safety. He told him that it would be simple, but he had to watch carefully because he would only teach him 3 strikes. He prepared himself. He lifted his knife and concentrated his strength on it. Then, he swung the knife. It was like he split the sky. The last position for the move was to bring the knife to his side. Chuan was astonished. He explained that the first strike was called Falling Star. Then he showed him the second strike. He jumped really high and unleashed a wave of power from his knife. It was called the Falling Moon. It was insane. Chuan had to ask how he did that. He explained that it's just surrounding space twisting and folding his vision. Then, for the third strike, it was called Devouring Sun. That created an explosion that shot up to the sky. Chuan doubted that the moves were for killing pigs. He wondered what kind of pigs would be if that was the case. His dad told him that he would need to use it one day, so he had to learn it well. He looked for his pig-killing blade. Chuan replied that it was broken. He made him use his blade for the moment. Chuan struggled to lift it with both hands. He staggered from how heavy it was. Then his dad went to sleep while leaving him to train. He couldn't believe his dad was using such a heavy blade to slaughter pigs all those years. His body trembled as he tried to lift the blade. He lost his balance and fell face down. He did it again. Little did he know that his dad was watching him behind a tree. He had no idea that the moment he stepped into the realm of sealings, those 3 strikes would be able to cut down even the one chosen by heaven. Chuan kept going. He was already out of breath, and the sun was already rising. He was exhausted, but he remembered Xing and his son. It made him keep going. Our boy just focused on practicing the fallen star technique. When he did the falling star strike, it was so powerful that the debris flew, and the birds got scared and flew away. He was shocked for a moment. Then he smiled. After that, he fainted. The system informed him that he reached 9th rank apprentice. His strength, agility, and spirit was at 55. His skill, Blood Shadow Butcher, increased to level 2, and he learned a new skill called Falling Star. But it sent him to the hospital. He was unconscious. His mother asked the doctor if he's okay. The doctor explained that he just fainted from exhaustion. It could be from training all night. His mother was annoyed with his father for being so cruel and training him to that point. She planned to nag at him once she got home. Judging by the amount of the lactic acid in his body, the doctor could tell that he must have done 1,000 sit-ups, 1,000 push-ups, and 1,000 squats in one night. And he also ran 100 kilometers. His mother thinks the doctor was kidding with her because there's no way a human being could do that all night. The doctor replied that a normal person probably couldn't, but given her son's mental state, she thinks it's pretty reasonable. It made Chuan's mother furious with her husband. She planned to beat him up until his own mother couldn't recognize him. She hurriedly left the clinic. Meanwhile, the doctor didn't expect Chuan to have such good stamina. A regular person would have died from that much exercise. She licked her lips as she planned to give him a one-on-one session at night. But when he checked on him, he's gone. Chuan was already walking on the streets while contemplating how the skill takes a lot of stamina. He took a mental note to use it easily unless absolutely necessary. He remembered that he had to go to Master Tai Shin to pick up his knife. He arrived at the area and stood in front of the iron heart foundry. Master Shin noticed him. This is the blacksmith that was responsible for his weapon. He asked if he's Chuan. Chuan replied yes. He was already informed by Zhao about everything that happened, so he worked through the night to forge the knife that Chuan wanted. He also heard that he was a pig butcher. He didn't expect the Xia family to pay a fortune to have him rush to forge a blade for a pig butcher. It made him curious if he's an illegitimate son or something. He showed the knife. Chuan was about to take it from the box, but he closed the box and told him not to rush. The knife was forged from 1,000-year-old cold iron, a fine material that only appeared after 49 days of forging. It was a yellow rank high grade, which means the knife also recognizes its owner. If Chuan's rank was not high enough, let alone using it, he might not even be able to lift it. Chuan grabbed the handle of the knife, and he was surprised. He was able to lift it without problem. Chuan thought about how it's lighter than his dad's. Master Shin couldn't believe that he lifted an incredible weapon without a sweat. Chuan asked what the knife was called. He replied that it doesn't have a name yet. It belonged to Chuan, so he must be the one to bestow a name upon it. Chuan commented that the Xia family was truly wealthy. He decided to name the knife Dragon Slayer. Master Xin laughed at how cliché it was. Now that he had his knife, he planned to hunt some monsters to earn some money. He went to the walls. He was hoping to advance to first-rank Dengtang realm so he would have a chance to deal with Xing. He passed by an injured man being supported by his friend. The injured man expressed that lately, there had been a lot of foreign creatures and fierce beasts around the area, and they're attacking people like crazy. It was strange. His friend agreed and shared that he walked past a plated ground ox which was usually harmless, but earlier, it chased him for 10 miles. It was really terrifying. Chuan overheard their conversation, and it made him thrilled that there would be a lot to kill. In the forest. Chuan stopped walking. He could sense someone following him. The person who has higher spiritual power, their perception were also heightened. Chuan just stood there. A knife was thrown at him from behind. He sidestepped to evade the knife without looking back. The 3 men stepped out from the shadows. The man who threw the knife was a 9th stage apprentice realm. He wondered if Chuan dodged his attack just from pure luck. The fat man with them replied that just as Xing guessed, the brat really tried to leave the city. They assumed he was planning to ditch his parents and run away. The 3rd man revealed to Chuan that they had been watching him for days and was instructed by Xing that as soon as he leaves the city, they would sever his tendons and drag him back. Chuan grabbed his knife. The system registered the new weapon. Each pig killed with it grants 0.3 free attribute points. He was surprised to learn that the attribute points tripled. It used to be 0.1, so it just means that he had a great blade. He showed them his new baby, the Dragon Slayer blade. The man with the knife asked him again what he called it. He replied it was called the Dragon Slayer. That made those 3 laugh. They teased him for the name and the idea that he thinks of himself as a dragon slayer. But he replied that he wasn't. Actually, I'm no legendary hero. Then, our boy's expression changed. With this psycho expression, he uttered, "I'm just a pig butcher." They continued to laugh at him, but the guy on the back started sweating heavily. They found him hilarious and had lowered their guard. They didn't even notice him appearing beside the fat guy. In an instant, Chuan slashed the neck of the fat guy. He bled a lot. The system registered him slaughtering a 2-legged pig, and that gave him plus 5% experience, 1% bonus damage to pigs, and 0.3 free attribute points. The other 2 men were horrified that the fat guy was dead in an instant. They didn't even see what just happened. The man with the knife immediately bolted. He couldn't believe how fickle he was for just leaving him behind. Before he could even finish his sentence, Chuan had already cut his head off. The system registered him slaughtering a 2-legged pig, and that gave him plus 5% experience, 1% bonus damage to pigs, and 0.3 free attribute points. The man who left was frantic. They couldn't even see Chuan's movements. He knew that his strength was beyond what he could handle. He saw him as a freaking monster. But fortunately for him, he has confidence in how fast he runs. But to his surprise, he was stabbed from behind. Chuan threw the knife at him, then he dropped dead. After that, Chuan went to retrieve his knife, and for the 3rd time, the system registered him slaughtering a 2-legged pig, and that gave him plus 5% experience, 1% bonus damage to pigs, and 0.3 free attribute points. He told them that they were the one who attacked first. He saw something in the man's pocket. It was a skill scroll. He was happy to have a surprise bonus. He acquired a beginner movement skill called Shadow Ghost Step, wherein upon activation, his agility would increase by 30% for 30 seconds. Even if it was a beginner's scroll, getting free stuff was always good. All of them got lured by the corpses. Chuan saw him eat humans, and with that reasoning, he couldn't let it live. He used Shadow Ghost Steps to jump from one tree to another. His agility had increased by 30%. The creature saw him approaching. It released its spikes towards him. He blocked it using his arm. Then, he slashed the creature. The spikes pierced his body and it hurt, but he treated it as having acupuncture. The system registered him killing a spiked pig, which gives him plus 5% experience, 1% bonus damage to pigs, and 0.3 free attribute points. He was at 80% experience remaining to progress to Climbing Pond Realm. Chuan took the chance to slash it. The system notified him of plus 5% level points, 1% bonus damage to pig-type enemies, 0.3 free attribute points. Chuan approached the other one, and slashed it before it could do anything. Again, The system notified him of plus 5% level points, 1% bonus damage to pig-type enemies, 0.3 free attribute points. After that, Chuan pulled out the spikes from his body. After the last one was taken, the system notified him of 70% experience remaining to reach the Dengtang realm. He was determined to reach that level that day, so he walked deeper in the woods. Suddenly, an aggressive rhino appeared. It was a rhino monster, and it was about to eat him. It charges towards him. But Chuan was faster than it, so he had slashed it before it could harm him. Because of that, he gained plus 5% level points, 1% bonus damage to pig-type enemies, 0.3 free attribute points. The rhino's body dropped dead, but he noticed it move. He watched it being dragged. He was confused if it came back from the dead. Then he realized someone tried to steal his loot. He followed it towards the source to kill it. He jumped down on a pit where several creatures were wrapped in webs, and the spider showed up behind Chuan. It was about to attack him, but at the last minute, he deflected its fangs. He was surprised at what he saw. It was a large spider with golden legs. He called it a gold-plated spider. The gold caught his attention. He decided to take its nice legs. It suddenly attacked him. Out of instinct, he was able to deflect the legs using his knife. After that, the spider suddenly wrapped him with webs, and then it stabbed his leg. He fell face down and vomited. He was poisoned by a tarantula venom. It will cause neurological damage and induce a state of frenzy. He wriggled, and while his mouth was frothing, he tried to break free from the web. Then he glared at the spider, who got spooked by how he looked. Then he slashed it continuously while his mouth was foaming. He continued like crazy. The spider got furious and attempted to hit him, but it was startled when Chuan pulled the web from its butt. Then he raised his knife and butchered the spider. Chuan's eyes glowed brightly while he screamed out loud and moved his knife. When he was done, he fell on his back. He just reached the Dengtang realm. His strength, agility, and spirit all have 100 plus each. An hour later, he cooked the spider. He had no idea how he had leveled up, and he felt so exhausted. He read his current stats. Apparently, he woke up and found the spider dead right next to him. But then, when he was about to take a bite of the food, a sexy woman-like creature with 2 horns appeared beside him and told him that it smelled amazing. She asked if she could have some. Chuan turns to her. Any man who meets her gaze is hers to command. She expected him to become a good boy and be her pet, but Chuan simply replied that if she wanted some, she should go hunt some for herself. What he had was barely enough for him. She was confused about what was happening. Her allure didn't work on him. Chuan saw her as a pig, but he's confused on why she had horns. She replied that he doesn't need to share, but she had some questions for him. His speech was muffled because his mouth was full of food, but he asked her what she wanted. She asked him if he saw a blood crystal twin flower anywhere around the area. She'd been cultivating that thing for decades, and her pet was killed too. She asked if he knew who took it. Chuan realized that he was the one who did all that. The woman already knew it was him, but he denied it. She watched him with a doubtful expression. Then he informed her that he knew who it was. He told her that it was stolen by a despicable human named Liu Xing. He informed her that Xing was the one who killed her cute little snake, and that he even asked him how he could do that to an adorable little snake, but he wouldn't listen. She replied that he'd go find him. Then she left. But after a single step, she looked back with a furious expression and asked him if he took him for an idiot. She attacked her with her claws, but he blocked it using his knife. She revealed that she remembers the scent on him. Otherwise, she wouldn't track him down. He argued that if she knew that it was him all the time, she shouldn't have forced him to lie about it. She was annoyed that he acted like the victim. She exudes power from her body. Then she hanged him upside down. She demanded to know where her flower was, or he'd be strangled to death. He activated the Blood Shadow Butcher. Her eyes turned red, and she saw an image of her being tied up, placed on a chopping board, and he was about to butcher her. That terrified her. She needed to scratch herself just to get out of the illusion. With that slight distraction, Chuan was able to break free and ran away. He told her that she could have the meat and the spider legs as a fair trade for the flower. She chased after him. Chuan ran as fast as he could because he knew that girl was the embodiment of trouble. If he can't get away, he'll have to use his secret move. She closed their gap in a blink of an eye. Unfortunately, They caught the eye of an ape. This windfire ape blocked Chuan's path. It was about to squish him to death. Fortunately, he was able to jump away. Then it saw the woman. It acted aggressively. The woman told it to get lost. She strangled it. Then she scratched the side of its face. It fell to its knees and screamed out loud. Then it dropped dead. After that, the woman faced Chuan. He gripped his knife with 2 hands. She got startled as she somewhat knew what technique our MC was about to use based on his form. Chuan lifted the knife into the air using 2 hands. He started exuding a dark aura around him. With a dead serious expression, our boy uttered, "Fallen Star." She recognized that skill. She couldn't believe it because there was no way anyone still knew about it. She thought that he's just bluffing, but still she couldn't risk it. If he actually knew it, then she'd be dead. Meanwhile, a sexy lady called Uncle Qian and informed them that something was going on up ahead. Those 2 were surprised when someone else showed up, a woman and 2 men. The horned woman admitted that she didn't expect Chuan to have a backup. She thought he lured her there intentionally. She warned her that she'll remember what he had done. Then she fled. Honestly, she felt relieved to have an excuse to back out, while Chuan was left dumbfounded. He just stood there. The man with the sledgehammer saw the defeated ape. He reported to the woman whom he called Ms. Jiang that the windfire ape that had just escaped from them was killed by the kid. Chuan explained that it had nothing to do with him, that he was just passing by. Jiang asked what his name was. Chuan could tell that she's trying to pin it on him, and his problem was no one was going to believe him no matter how he explained it. He introduced himself and sought a chance to explain. But Jiang grabbed his hand and expressed that she wanted to invite him to join their 9 Heavens Alliance. He was irked with the pig hands. Then, he remembered that the 9 Heavens Alliance was one of the 3 great powers in Qingcheng. The old man with a sledgehammer inspected the ape's corpse and expressed how he couldn't believe that a 7th-rank Dengtang realm windfire ape was one-shot by Chuan. He could tell he has a lot of potential. He told him that they were recruiting members and he wouldn't regret joining them. Chuan realized that the snake woman's strength was terrifying. If she could one-shot a 7th-rank Dengtang realm, it means she would come after him again. He knew it wouldn't hurt to have some backing. Jiang asked for his decision. She expressed that they planned to take on the Blazing Blade King and they're desperate for strong fighters. He asked who the Blazing Blade King was. Jian was surprised that he didn't know. She was under the impression that he's in a combat class. She explained that professions were divided into Apprentice Realm, Dengtang Realm, Master Realm, and Grandmaster Realm. Each realm was then split into 9 minor ranks, and once he breaks through the 9th Grandmaster Realm, he can be crowned a king. The Blazing Blade King was one of those King Realm monarchs. Chuan inquired about the reward for beating him. The one-eyed man commented that he's truly clueless. He explained that when he defeats a King Realm expert, he can inherit their title and realm. He pointed out that it's not a challenge that any random trash could take on. Chuan interpreted that as he could become crazy powerful overnight, so he's going to give it a shot. He decided to join the 9 Heavens Alliance. Jiang was pleased. Now that they have a new team member, they're one step closer to success. But the one-eyed man seemed to dislike him. Meanwhile, the uncle pierced its knife to the windfire ape. Chuan inquired if he's skinning it. Jiang replied that he was right. To even get near the Blazing Blade King, they need fire-resistant armor made from the hide of the windfire ape to withstand the heat. Otherwise, the second they set foot in the territory, the Fentian Valley, they'll be melted by the heat wave. They were about to skin it when they first saw it, but they never thought it would chew through its chains and escape. Chuan shared that he's an expert in skinning. She was surprised that he knew how to skin. He responded that he's a professional. He jumped to the ape's chest, then he took out his knife and started skinning. 1 minute later, he presented it to them. It was done cleanly. The ape looked like a titan from Attack of the Titans. Then he packed the skin. Their jaws dropped upon seeing it. It was way too professional. Jiang saw his pure talent. She even blushed. The uncle carried the hide and they made their way. Now that they have the hide, they just need to go back and craft the fire-resistant armor and they'll be set. He was positive that this time, they'll definitely beat the others to the king's inheritance. But someone appeared. 3 men blocked their paths. The man had a logo of a lion on his Chinese-collared shirt. It meant that he was from the Thunder Lion Alliance. Jiang wondered what he was doing there. They told her to part with the windfire ape hide. She could tell they knew their move. He couldn't help but notice how sharp she was. And given that she was, she expects them to already be aware if she doesn't hand it over. The uncle threatened them with his hammer. The one-eyed man suggested to give the hide to him, and he'll go get back up. The uncle threw it at him. But the one-eyed man was surprised when Chuan blocked it. He asked him what he was doing and yelled to give it to him. Chuan argues that he was the one who skinned it, so it was obvious that it was safest with him. It made the one-eyed man named Jia Wan angry, but Jiang called him out. The leader of the Thunder Lion Alliance noticed that the Nine Heavens Alliance wasn't united. Jiang couldn't believe that Wan was thinking about the Windfire Ape at a time like that. She confronted him if he dared to betray the Nine Heavens Alliance. He couldn't believe she suspected him, and not the new guy. She argued that the new guy doesn't look like a traitor. The uncle got mad at Wan for betraying them. Wan revealed that he's sick of their high and mighty act and always doing things in their own weird way. He was attacked with the sledgehammer, but he was able to dodge. He admitted that the Thunder Lion Alliance promised to pay him triple and that Punk had just ruined everything. Wan reported to Lord Lei that he almost had it, but now they have to take it by force. The uncle reminded him how he dealt with traitors. But Wan was confident with his speed. Suddenly, Lei took out his weapons and blocked the sledgehammer. Then he ordered Wan to kill the kid and get the hide from him. The uncle was surprised with how his weapon was deflected. He realized that Lei had already broken through the second-rank Master Realm. Lei revealed that they had come prepared to deal with the Nine Heavens Alliance, and with that, not a single one of them would be walking out there today. He attacked them. The uncle tries to block the dual swords with the handle of the hammer. He concentrated his power and tried to hit him. Meanwhile, Wan draws out his weapon. Then, he targeted Chuan, who was clinging to the hide. Wan jumped and changed directions when he saw Jiang drew out her instrument. He told the other men to stop her and not let her play her instrument. Those two lackeys shared glances. Then they released a water and fire attack towards her. She struck her Zheng. She was in a pinch since Chuan was just a first-rank Dengtang realm rookie. She knew he was no match for Wan, who was a fifth-rank Dengtang realm. Wan expressed that Jiang would pay for her stupidity for bringing trash like Chuan as backup. She yelled at Chuan to watch out, but as Wan comes close to him, Chuan emitted a scary aura. Wan was caught off guard. He felt like a pig that was tied to a cross. Blood Shadow Butcher has been activated and it leveled up to level 3. Chuan attacked him. He used Shadow Phantom Step while he carried the hide. Wan was annoyed that he tried to match his speed. He was confident that he wouldn't be able to touch him. As Wan tries to slash Chuan, Chuan hides behind the bag of hide. Wan couldn't afford to get it damaged. Suddenly, Chuan slashed his leg. He fell on the ground and whined that he played dirty. Chuan got him where he wanted him. His face with a devilish grin was above Wan, who looked so terrified. Jiang saw what happened and she realized that he was something else. He was just a first-rank Dengtang realm, and yet he took out someone who was many ranks higher than him. It led her to think that his profession was a god-tier combat type. Chuan glanced at Jiang, who was also engaged in a fight. She sought his help. He glanced to the other side, where Lei was overpowering the uncle. The uncle screamed loudly when he got electrocuted. Chuan thought that to catch the thieves, he had to take out the king first. So his priority was to take out the head of the Thunder Lion Alliance first.
Thank you all for watching. Please watch this next Giga Chad video, and I'll see you guys next time. Also, support the channel by joining the Summon Club membership. You can also support by just liking the video and being awesome.